All right. All right. We are recording now. I can edit this, so like if there's anything, if y'all feel like you said something that you wish you hadn't said, just let me know and I will edit it
Should
out.
we have a safety word?
Safety word. It could be like enchilada. Yeah, we can just enchilada that. But yeah, I can edit this shit. So, anyways, we are live. We are at Blood Moon Tattoo in Mansfield, Texas. Everybody here works here. I'm assuming anybody that watches this knows who I am. You already know who I am, but like, and we got you guys can introduce yourselves. Super weird. All right, I'll introduce you guys. We got Bryson here, young tatter tot. We got Gabby. We got Jenna. Like I said, we all work here at Blood Moon, and so yeah, this is some new kind of content that I'm doing. We're doing, just doing, just kind of unscripted, fucking just yeah. We're just gonna talk about some shit. Got some topics here, and yeah, about to do the damn thing. So, do you guys have anything that you would like to talk about? I think first I was gonna have everybody give like a short form about like their entry to tattooing, like a little bit of history and how that's all been.
Alright. What's the first? Jenna?
No.
So, like, leading up to this, like, all my uploads have been, like, me giving a really longhand version of it. But if you just want to talk about, like, you can just say, like, how long have you been tattooing? How'd you get into it? And or I can just ask you questions and you can answer them.
Yeah, let's do questions.
Okay. So,
More direct.
yeah. Gabby, how long have you been tattooing?
Dude, about 4 years now.
Okay.
Oh.
There you go.
Okay.
Get a little bit closer. Okay, so 4 years now.
4 years now.
Okay. So, and it's always been here in Mansfield, right?
Kind of. Did a lot of traveling. Went to Colorado for a little bit with Brian Cena. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's pretty good.
That's cool.
That was pretty cool. But it was out in Pueblo. Sorry, out to Pueblo, but Pueblo sucked. There's nothing to do. Everything out there closed at 5, and I had no idea. I'm like, oh, what do I do for food? Didn't even think of that. Didn't plan ahead.
It's like a small town?
Super small, like,
Yeah, it's nothing.
Yeah. I mean, people like Colorado, right? I mean, like, even, like, small town Colorado is, like...
Oh, yeah. I mean, dispensaries are everywhere.
Hell
so that's
yeah.
nice.
That's a plus. Okay. Hell yeah. Right on. Okay, so you went there, but for the most part, like, the bulk of your tattooing has been here, specifically in Mansfield, because I know you
Yeah.
were talking about Blasted, and
Yeah.
you'd been there for a little bit. And you apprenticed... It wasn't this specific shop? I mean, it was Blood Moon, but it wasn't at this location?
Yeah, it was the one by Waterburger down there. I don't know what street that is. Like, by that new... What's that new high school? Legacy? Or Lake Ridge?
I don't know.
I don't know, one of those. That's where I started. I started off with clay, and then that's when I went to go find another apprenticeship, and then I met Charles Chapman at one of the Ink Masters conventions. So he ended up going to Blasted. He stayed there for about a year. So that was fun.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And then you've been working here for how long?
Oh,
Like this
3 years, I guess.
And that's
I don't know,
just-
it's hard to say because it was on and off.
Yeah.
I'd be gone for like a couple weeks and I'll come back.
Yeah. But from what I was told, you've basically been here like since
day
this.
one.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very
Yeah.
cool. Very loyal. Nice. You loyal.
Come back.
Okay. Cool. And then so I know what kind of the tattoos that you like to do, but for those that might be listening, what kinds of tattoos would you say that you really like to do?
Definitely more black and gray. Like neo-trad black and gray.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I like those bold lines.
Hell yeah. What like if you had to name drop like what artists do you feel like have been like the most influential in terms of like setting an example of what a tattoo can be?
Oh. I feel like I have to go through my Instagram and see. I
Oh,
don't
so
know
it's a
names.
lot.
Maybe.
Yes.
It might be a lot.
I think it's that way for everybody.
Yeah, too many. There's so many artists. It's so hard to figure out like what style specifically right now, but probably more black and gray neo-trad.
So like early on, did you have like any like tattooers that you were just like, Hell yeah. Like,
Oh, I mean, there was Jay Jury.
yeah,
That she was probably the first one, and then there was Deanna Art.
yeah.
Those are the two that I really remember.
That's kind of cool that they're like semi-local too,
Mm-hmm.
and really successful tattooers. I remember, like Jay was like one of the first tattooers that I ever saw on MySpace. So like she's been like
Yeah,
utilizing the social media game for like as long as that's been a thing.
yeah,
Hell yeah,
yeah. She was pretty cool.
that's cool.
It's actually super funny because like when you meet her, she's super gothic looking, but her
Yeah.
artwork's so colorful.
Yeah, yeah. I've never met her. I've just like just being in like the Dallas Fort Worth
Yeah.
tattoo scene. I've always like known people that had met her and everything.
Yeah, like I full on fangirled on her when I met her at a
Yeah.
convention.
Yeah.
I was like, "Hi."
Hell yeah. I think she used to like go to metal shows or something like that. I think that's how like we had friends in common or something like that. It's kind of
Oh,
weird
yeah.
like the local DFW like metal and hardcore scene was like it's like 1 out of 4 people that used to go to shows in like the 2008 to 2010 era like ended up being tattooers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know why that is. I guess it's just like an easy
Yeah, I feel like I'm not calling you old, but I feel like a lot of the people that have been tattooing for a while know each other. They all like
Yeah, well, it's like a small pond. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like, I mean, it's like, I guess Dallas has more tattooers, but like, especially in Fort Worth, like, yeah, everybody kind of like knows, or if there's somebody you don't know, you definitely know somebody that knows them.
yeah,
It's kind of weird. And it's like weird too, because it's like, there's millions of people that live in DFW, but then like tattooing itself is like a very small
Small.
pond. Yeah.
small, but sometimes it feels saturated, like oversaturated.
Oh, well, yeah, because there's a bunch of people that you've never heard of that are doing tattoos, and you know they're probably doing the tattoos you wouldn't want to do anyways. But
Yeah.
yeah. All right, Jenna, you're up. Okay.
Enchilada.
And, so you're still like technically the apprentice here, even though like you know I think that you're light years ahead of a lot of people that have like been making a living doing this. So, like, how long have you been here?
So I started, it'll be 2 years in August, but I've been tattooing for like 10 months here.
Very cool. Very cool. Has it been? You said something before that indicated that it was like kind of not necessarily like on and off, but it was like you weren't fully committed at the beginning, and then you kind of realized like.
Yeah, so I was working a full-time job outside of this, still am, but
Yeah.
so
What changed? Like, what made you be like, okay, I'm gonna do this. It just happened.
it just happened. I don't know.
Yeah.
Zach kind of told me to get off my ass and I need to start being here more if I wanted to actually do this. So I said, okay.
Hell, yeah, it gave you like
So
a little wake up call.
Started coming here on weekends, and then I don't know. I feel like I wasn't like gonna be respected if I'm only here, you know, on weekdays. I wasn't actually getting to see a whole bunch of tattoos and whatnot. So I started showing up every day, and that was like very eye-opening, whatnot.
Yeah.
And now I've got a schedule to where I'm not here every day, but yeah.
Hell yeah. What okay. So this is like a question for both of y'all because I forgot to ask you. Like, I feel like everybody's default answer to this is like, oh, I've done art all my life. Do y'all feel like that's the case? Like young prodigy, like ever since you could hold a pencil, you've just been cranking out jammers on
God.
paper.
No, looking back at art, I'm like, I thought this was good.
You gotta be passionate about something. Like, always been passionate about art, but I haven't
Yeah.
always been good at art.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I mean, at first I started off at school because I was going for architecture.
Oh wow.
Realized that there's really no art or creativity involved with it at
Yeah.
all. Like, they want you to throw out every creative thought that you have so that you can focus on the rules of the project or whatever. It was exhausting. It was really inexpensive.
That is crazy. Architecture, yeah, that's like super mathematical, I guess.
Super. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, like formal education wise, in terms of art, excluding architecture, Jenna, you did art school, right?
Yeah, not for super long.
Yeah. Like, but I mean, so like high school, did you guys do like art class in high school?
AP art.
Yeah,
There's like
yeah,
5
yeah.
people in the class.
Yeah, hell yeah.
It was nice.
I don't think I ever did any like art in high school aside from just college, whatnot. Like, I think I only did like 2 semesters and kind of just,
Yeah.
I don't know, I wanted to go into sculpting for a little bit. Never
Yeah.
did that.
I took a sculpture class in
Yeah.
at TCC.
Yeah, it's easy. Who'd you have?
Oh, I want to say it was a redheaded lady, but I
Oh.
can't remember anything from that like period of my life. But,
Right there.
yeah.
We had this dude, and halfway through the semester, he emailed us, and he was like, "I'm not coming back. Here's 100 for the class.
Hell
and
yeah.
here's the code for the door if you want to continue sculpting."
Just do it yourself.
He's like,
That's
"I'm not
crazy.
coming back." And I was like, "Okay."
Tight.
Say
Hell yeah.
less.
Yeah.
There's only like a couple people that came back and stayed in the class for the rest of the year. But I'm like, free
You did?
supplies, yeah.
Hell, I mean, yeah. Why not utilize it? That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an open studio. That's cool.
300.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I'll take that.
I mean,
Yeah.
it was designed, hopefully you get 100 in there, but
Did you get credit for the class?
yeah.
That's 100.
Hey,
Hell
alright,
yeah. You got a
alright.
hell of a credit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I took a drawing, or I took sculpture, and then I think I took art appreciation and music appreciation, and then I took a drawing class, and it was super easy up till like what she decided to make the final, and because like we were drawing still lifes and shit, and that was like super easy. Everybody, it's like there's a lot of people in there that like aren't really artistically inclined. They just have to get like a creative, an elective, so they're just like doing it. But you'd like draw the still life, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, you actually do this! Like that's crazy!"
Oh, wow, an artist.
Yeah. Oh my god, like you're a born artist. I don't know, you're so talented. Oh my god. But then like the final was like a perspective drawing, and like I was not smart enough with my drawing to know that like you could choose a pretty boring building and like have an easy
Like
perspective.
a square, perfectly
Yeah,
square
yeah.
building. And just
For whatever reason, like I went out in front of the library at TCC South, and it had like a big glass front, and there's like 2 stories inside, so there's like all of these perspective lines that you have to do. So I did not complete it in time, and I think like I was so embarrassed that I didn't just like turn in what I had for like just for credit on like having done something, because I mean like the reality is it's like education in general, like they hand out participation trophies, but like I didn't have that in mind, so I didn't turn my shit in, and because it was like so heavily weighted on that final, I fucking failed that drawing class.
Damn.
Yeah, so it's like wild as fuck. I mean, like sometimes I won't think about it, and I always tell clients like, yeah, I failed a drawing class in college, and I don't think about how like impressionable they are like in the first interaction.
Things not to say to someone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I failed a drawing class, no big deal. Yeah.
Don't mind me.
Yeah.
trust me, you're in good hands.
Yeah. But okay, so some I mean, okay, what did you tell me about art school? Like it was like you did like you didn't. I mean, do you get degrees at art school, or like you get? But so you went long enough to not have a degree, but you went for an amount of time.
Yeah, I think I was there, I don't know, maybe 2 semesters, dropped out, kind of went the medical route, and then,
Medical.
yeah.
Why?
Oh,
Were you
it
like
was exciting.
medical was exciting?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
It
Okay,
was.
like, I was a firefighter for a couple years.
Oh,
and, was
okay.
in night school to be an EMT.
Okay.
Did not pass.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
crazy.
I always wanted to go back and do that again, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I always wanted to make a career out of art and whatnot, and kind of didn't see that as like a actual realistic option until kind of more recently.
Yeah, it was hard to kind of see the path,
I mean,
trust
I
the
have
process.
an art degree, and I wasn't doing anything with that. I mean, what do you do with an art degree?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean
Nothing,
it's like any degree you might
cool,
get.
Yeah.
I mean
So I'm
like
like, okay, cool, I have an art degree.
What now?
What now? So that's when I joined architecture, because I'm like, okay, surely my art degree.
This will do something.
No, I had to restart pretty much.
wait, okay, so what art degree did you have?
Just a basic art degree, like visual arts.
And you got that at community college?
No, I got that at UTA. I started at community, and then I went to UTA. So I did 4 years for art school.
Oh.
And then I did
Damn.
3 more years, or 2 more years, 2.5 for architecture.
Okay, so that's the first time I've heard you talk about that. That's crazy. Then you're like, okay, all this creative visual art shit, architecture. Oh
Yeah.
wait, architecture is not what I
Has
thought it
nothing-
was.
Nothing to do with art.
Yeah. Okay, that's crazy.
Unless you want to teach art, I guess. But
Yeah.
you still have to go get your teacher's degree, which has nothing to do with art. So I'm like,
Yeah, yeah,
like some electives went,
yeah.
but not all of it. I'm like, well, that's stupid.
So let me ask this: do you guys feel like, especially given all the like background that in some cases is probably nuanced, do you guys feel like 90% of the situations that you find yourselves in as tattooers, like 90% of the situations require 10% of your ability?
Yeah, yeah, I can see that. I mean, ability as in like just
Like all these skills that you've accrued, like all of this ability to do stuff,
Yeah.
is the 100%, and then it's like 10% of that total
oh yeah
comes into
for
play
sure.
90% of the
I
time.
mean, it's a whole learning a whole other medium.
Yeah.
Like,
I
feel
feel
like-
it kind of comes full circle every now and then.
yeah, I mean, there's stuff I think with learning and having an art degree definitely jump started on having like a visual aspect of how to make something look visually attractive. I think that's what art school helped a lot with.
Right.
Because I feel like what the key with tattooing is finding stuff that is visually attractive, like making it visually attractive. Like, wow, this looks really nice to look at, or whatever. You know?
Yeah, like being able to tune into the things that people might take into account on a subconscious level, like being able to have the hard read on like just seeing things that they see but aren't registering.
Yeah, they don't see the detail; they see it from the bigger picture. So it's
Right.
like you have to. I don't know, like we learn the details of everything.
Yeah.
They don't see the details. They see
Yeah.
like the bigger picture and like, okay, like they see like the flow of everything and they're like, wow, that looks really good. But like, I don't know, we know the details of like what makes it look good. You know, like different line weights,
Yeah.
shading techniques and color theory.
Right. It lends itself towards like being able to be on the hard read about like, because people will give cues, but then like they're not able to fully articulate what it is that they like about this reference material that
Exactly.
they're showing you. So you can
Yeah.
kind of like read their mind based on like everything from like how they're dressed to like just their like overall style,
yeah.
their age, like different things like that. Okay, and it's like especially relevant to what we were saying before about like when you show them the line drawing and it happens to be red, and they're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, by the way, I don't want it to be red.
No color, please.
Yeah, you're like, all right, that's just how it looks on my iPad, but all right.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I think that's funny. I didn't know that there was so much formal art education at this table. That's tight. That's cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
We're
I wonder
educated.
where
Yeah,
Gabby
oh, yeah.
gets her color theory from.
Oh yeah.
Like 8
Hell
years
yeah.
of school.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I didn't know
Yeah.
all that. Okay.
So now I'm just paying off debt for a career I'm not in.
How much student debt do you have?
I just actually just logged into my Credit Karma the other day.
Yeah.
20,000. I'm like, heart attack.
How much was it originally?
I don't know. That was with financial aid.
That's crazy.
Scary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't intend for this to give you like existential, like, oh shit, my debt.
Stress.
Oh, I mean, I just like 20,000 isn't anything compared to what other people are in, you know? And
That-
they go
yeah.
to like high end schools and paying 50 grand a semester,
Yeah.
like SMU or.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. Well, I mean, I know that of all people here, you definitely feel me whenever I complain about like, you know, like, oh, this little bullshit ass walk-in. It's not a Grim Reaper, you know. It's like I don't have formal education in the background fueling my want to put Reapers on everybody, but you know, like, yeah, okay, cool,
It's
very
just
cool.
a need.
It's a need.
Yeah. I do. I physically need to put like Reapers with space in the cloak.
You should
and-
market that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Draw it up.
I'm trying. I should market that.
Sell
You're
that
absolutely
shit.
yeah. Get a fucking Reaper tattoo. This is PSA. Please get a fucking Grim Reaper tattooed.
The
Like
side eye.
bombastic side eye.
Criminal.
Criminal side. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we got Bryson. If you would turn the mic to you, I'm gonna ask you a few questions. So
A few cues.
a few cues. All right. So we've got a very well seasoned tater tot here. Okay.
Fucking
Well.
potato now.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. You are in full potato state right now. Hell yeah.
He's
All right.
Enchilada.
let's enchilada the fuck out of that.
I don't know.
Okay.
Everyone needs to know how much a potato. Fresh potato.
What kind of seasonings are we talking about?
Dude, the toughest season, the spiciest seasoning, dude. Okay. All right. So,
Shout out to Cliffco.
yeah, shout out. Yeah. A big thank you to our sponsor here, Cliffco Spices. Delicious. They're great on everything, including tater tots. Okay. All right. So, obviously, you're new here, you know. Trying to set you up to not give the generic answers to everything. I've been drawing all my life, and I just always wanted to be a tatter tot.
Look at these calluses. Look at these calluses.
Always.
Yeah. What? I mean, obviously, like, how to say these questions without sounding like a douchebag. Obviously, being a tattooer is cool. You know, like it's not like I think it's cool, but it's like in like the mainstream perception of things, it's like cool to be a tattooer. People think that it's like very glamorous and like really awesome. But outside of that, like, you feel like it might be something you want to do just because it's like a way to be able to like produce art and render that to the public.
Yeah. Working full time sucks. I'd rather draw stuff that I want to draw.
Yeah.
And get paid for that, whether it be not much or anything.
Yeah.
Like, it still beats crawling in people's attics in Texas.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Especially
Yeah.
this summer.
I think
Yeah.
background on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just do it for fun.
I just live in people's attics in the summertime.
Hell yeah.
Crawl up in there when they're not home.
Dude, there is some interesting YouTube content on that specific topic.
Oh, I know.
It happens. Like,
I'm well aware.
yeah,
Well aware.
you've seen, yeah. Okay, so, and the comment section on this YouTube video might get like extra spicy because people are gonna be like, "Bro, you think fucking working full time sucks? You're about to get an even more full time job." But
That's
like,
fine.
yeah,
Yeah,
but it's like,
full time's a lot more.
yeah,
It's like good and stressful, but I like this stress than corporate stress.
yeah,
Corporate bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
working for a big corporation, it sucks. You have to deal with a whole bunch of bullshit that.
Yeah. I mean, that may get worse than tattooing. Right now, it's like super organic and like it's cool because it feels like you have a lot of agency because, like, I mean, tattoo shops are inevitably like a small business. Like, by the definition of small business, like all tattoo shops are like that because there's really no way to. I say this, I mean, I'm sure that there's like tattoo shop owners that own like 8 shops and they make it as corporate as possible. But I mean, I think that this is like a process that's unfolding right now where it's becoming more and more corporate all the time. Like right now, we kind of have the luxury of like most tattooers. They're like, okay, when you go to work somewhere, if they make you sign shit, fuck that, don't work there. You know, but it's like that's a big element of like corporate jobs. Like obviously, there's like all kinds of shit that you have to sign, like NDAs for trade secrets and shit like that. But yeah, I mean, like tattooing, it could end up being a lot more corporate than it is right now. But you're right. Right now, we have the benefit of it not being like a crazy corporate job. Like,
I mean, even if it does like become more corporate, I don't want to do it just because like it's not what I'm doing now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it beats crawling in attics, running lines, like doing physical labor, and I get to draw shit that I want to draw.
yeah,
And actually like pursue the like art stuff that I like
the
to
passion.
do. Yeah.
There's passion into it.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
It's like I always doodled in high school. I never wanted to like go to like fine art school. Like I never did that.
Yeah, that's actually crazy intimidating. You know,
Yeah,
I'm like, damn, there's like art, like formal art education going on here. That's crazy.
Yeah. I just doodled in high school, and I mean, I always kind of wanted to tattoo, and I had like an apprenticeship lined up back home in Pennsylvania, but then I had a house flood that destroyed everything that I worked on in high school.
So yeah,
Oh,
portfolio's
shit.
totally
So
gone.
Dang.
portfolio's totally gone. I didn't even show up because it was kind of embarrassing
Yeah.
walking into a tattoo shop without a portfolio or anything to show them.
Yeah.
So I just kind of shelved the dream and started, working at a resort after I dropped out of high school,
Yeah.
and then working shitty job to shitty job.
I will say, dropping out of high school, that kind of gives you like tat points. Like,
Yeah.
that's kind of tight. Like dropping out of high school,
Taking
having,
algebra 2 3 times.
Yeah, dude, I
Yeah.
don't. That's crazy.
And one at the
Couldn't-
same time.
Couldn't be me. Yeah, dude. Okay, so there was somewhere I was gonna go. Losing all your art. I need to go dig through my parents' house and find like some like high school art. Like, there's a bunch of like old.
We should do that. We
Yeah,
should find
everybody.
art.
Yeah, that
We
would be
should.
cool.
Make sure it's in a safe place.
Yeah.
You never know when you'll need it.
I'm not certain that it is in a safe place.
Yeah.
Is the sad thing. I've got my buddy Rishi. I've got some of his drawings that I paid a lot of money to have framed because like that dude, he's a badass artist, and he was in AP art every year that we were in high school. I was super fucking stoked my senior year because I just like wrote on the thing like, oh yeah, AP Art 4, like hoping they wouldn't check the credentials to make sure I was like good. They actually put me in AP Art 4 for like 6 weeks, and it was tight as fuck. And I was in there with Rishi, my homie, and I've got some of his drawings from high school, and like I paid a lot of money to have them like custom framed and everything. I went to my parents' house the other day, and I saw like the glass on one of them was like fucked off. So I was a little disappointed to see that, but I think the one that I really like a whole lot, it's like this fucking, it's like an owl, and then the owl has like a fucking, like a mushroom cloud coming out of his fucking head, and it's like color, it's drawn on like this like butcher paper, this like brown butcher paper, and it's got like Prismacolor, so it's like super
Oh,
opaque
okay.
on the brown. It's really fucking cool.
That's pretty cool.
I hope that it's still intact, because shouts out to Rishi. He didn't shout me out on the podcast he went on, but you know, whatever. I'll shout him out, dude. It's unconditional. Yeah, just throwing casual shade about people that y'all have never met before. No big deal. Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, I met Richie.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think that would be cool. Fucking pull up some like old art. All mine are like World of Warcraft drawings. Been on this shit for a minute, but oh, that's another thing. Okay, so you kind of answered the question because architecture. But so like, but rewind further. What did y'all want to be whenever you were like really young?
Architecture.
Really? You're like,
Yeah.
hell yeah, architects, they got it.
I was set.
She got that shit.
That's
I
kinda-
was set. It was, you know that whole saying like don't meet your idol? I
Yeah.
don't know what it is about meeting your dream, but that was dream crushing. I
Oh,
was
no.
like,
You're like, you guys are fucking lame and bureaucratic. And
yes,
like,
very like, oh man, our second year in architecture. So what they do is like every week there's like a semi big project, but every month there was a big project. So like we had to finish all these projects during the weeks, but we also had to work on the major project for the end of the month.
right.
And for the end of the month, we would have to present all of our projects, our big projects, in front of the whole architect program. So there's like 400 people, and I'm like kneecap shaking,
Yeah.
you know. And then there was
Like-
a guest artist that was there. He was an architect, and he'd walk up to your art and he would say, "All right, what am I seeing? What am I not seeing? What am I supposed to see?" And I was like, "Whoa." One, I'm overwhelmed with how many people, and then overwhelmed with these questions. And then I answered it, and he looks at it, and I'm just like, "So, what do you think?" He was like, "I don't know if this is just bad or provocative." And I was like,
Oh.
"Damn."
I know how I'm gonna act next time I go walk in and you're doing a tattoo. Like, what am I seeing? What am I
Yeah.
supposed to see?
God, and oh my God, my face was turning so red because I was so angry, and I could see someone like one of my like you get like assigned partners with your projects,
Right.
and my friends were like, "Don't say anything."
That's
Oh my God.
hilarious.
So you're turning red.
Yeah, I was
That-
like getting so angry. It was like, he was like, "Do you even believe in our ruler?" I'm like,
Oh no.
Damn.
"Damn,
A ruler?
a
Like,
ruler? I'm doing wood. I'm cutting wood."
That's ridiculous. That reminds me, my cousin had this. I guess they got married, so she had a husband. Maybe they're still. I don't know, like their whole thing. Anyways, this dude was like super like in and out of like state jail and shit like that. Like, I don't know if they have any kids together, but like he was definitely like Aryan Brotherhood affiliated and shit. Like but when I was like freshly apprenticing and I'm like showing him like tracings of like Sailor Jerry shit, like not even my own art, but I remember like he heard that I was apprenticing, got super excited about it, and then he like asked me about it. He's like, "Let me see your art," and I like I guess I didn't want to show him my World of Warcraft drawings, so I fucking show him like the Sailor Jerry tracings, and he's like, "Oh, bro, that fucking sucks. I'll get you some real art, bro." And like, I sometimes I think about it, I'm like, I wonder what the real art was that he was going to show me.
Crushed
He
from
never-
that moment forward.
I
Thinks
guess,
about it
yeah,
still to this day.
his approval like just really mattered to me a lot, but.
Never got any art from him?
No, fuck no,
No.
baby. Yeah, I sometimes I think about it. I wonder like what in his mind was real art. Like, was he gonna like bring me some like placas of fucking like prison cheese type shit? And he's like, yeah, this is it.
This is real art.
And like now looking back, like if I go back in time, I'd be like, you're absolutely right. That is it. Like,
He's gonna bring you some World of Warcraft shit.
yeah. Oh, what if? What if? Like he's like
You
actually.
missed your opportunity.
Yeah, he's like, I played a lot of D&D in the pen, so you know, fucking, here's my D&D characters, and I'd be like, you're fucking right. That is it.
I did talk to someone, talking about bringing up old art. We were going through each other's art, but this dude's art was mainly it was like anime, but then he was talking about how he started off with drawing anime porn.
Hell yeah.
Like that
That's
was
it.
like his way of getting porn was drawing it. But it was anime. So it was like
I mean, like, especially, okay, so think about like a prison setting. Like, he could be like the pimp. Like, I remember when I was in
I
like,
could draw you some porn.
yeah.
What do you like?
He's just got like photographic memory of every porn he's ever seen. Like when I was in county jail, there was this dude that like somehow snuck in like these like really shitty old like magazine clippings from like, I guess it was like a porn magazine, and he called himself a pimp, and he was like he would literally get these dudes to like give him commissary, like rent these pictures, and he'd like be sure to get them back, which is
Hustling.
like super yeah.
Ew, get him back.
Yeah, that's the fucked up part. Like,
No, I don't want those back.
like I never saw them to know like what the condition of them was, but like
God.
yeah, like it was like
Screws up every time we can see you.
Crimpled marks like on the sides.
yeah, I guess so. Like I don't actually like know that they were from like magazines, but like I have to I don't know. Maybe I have this like memory in my, or like I had this like formed like what I assumed that they were. They might have been like actual photographs or something. I don't actually know, but I know that like he made money off of dudes in jail that were like, yeah, that's
Smart.
yeah, super fucking smart. But yeah, I mean like that dude, the anime guy, like he could have definitely gone to jail and like, you know,
Yeah, made some
been on
money.
top of the fucking pod.
What you like?
Yeah, yeah.
Crawling
I
into
got you.
attics. I got you.
So like during COVID, I worked at Jimmy John's for like their lunch shift, because you could make like $50 in 2 hours and get a free lunch out of it.
Nice.
And there was this dude, and he like wouldn't let any. He always had like a drawing pad, and he wouldn't let anybody see like what he was drawing. And so it, you know, it's like that's like provocative, just acting like that. So like everybody was always like curious, you know. We'd like talk about it like out of like hearing range, and he finally like somebody snuck up on him while he was drawing, because he was like he would always draw like in the corner to where you could never see, but I think one day there was like a customer sitting there or something, so he couldn't take his normal spot, so like the opportunity was presented for us to like get a little peek.
Walk around.
Yeah, and then sure enough, like one of the dudes like fucking snuck up on him and like, you know, like took a little peek, and it was like, bro, he's drawing furry porn.
Oh God.
yeah
Now that's why he's so secretive with it.
yeah he
At work?
At work, yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I mean, he might have been making money off of it, maybe not. The dude said it was really bad though. It wasn't good. He was just drawing like really like rudimentary drawings of like anthropomorphic wolves fucking each other, I
God.
guess.
Ew.
Like, yeah, I mean, whatever, man. Like,
It reminds me of this video I just saw on this person.
what?
This kid.
What?
I don't know. No.
Whoa.
Wait. It's PG, I promise. No, it was this kid dressed up as a furry, and it was like, I'm glad my dad lets me call or whatever, pronounce however he wants to be. So he's Fox and Fox Self. That's how he wants to be pronounced.
hell yeah.
This one dude stitches in on the video and like knocks on the door. He's like, "Hey, Dad," and the dad's like, "Yeah." Thanks for beating me as a child.
Hell yeah, yeah.
No problem, son.
I think that sometimes I'm like, you know what, like, I got my ass kicked a few times for good reason, and yeah, I'm like proud of who I am now because of it.
Thanks, Mom.
That was it.
There's a okay, so like on this specific topic, there's a dude that I'm trying to be as unspecific as possible because I don't want anybody to like feel attacked. But like, okay, so there's a dude that works in a shop in a city, and his name is an animal, and it's like weird because like I saw he popped up on Facebook, and we have like friends in common, and you know how like a lot of the time on Facebook, like based on friends you have in common, you can kind of, if not like guess like the circles they're a part of, sometimes you can even guess like what city they're from, you know, because like of who they have. I think that this dude is like from my city, and or not the city I live now, not where I went to high school, but and he tattoos like close to here, and I think he's like he's a furry. Like
That's
he's a
just such an
furry.
odd-
He's a furry tattooer. Like,
Oh, wow.
But like it honestly, like just being a furry
Does
in
he
general.
dress up while he tattoos?
I wonder,
Get
like
extra to
like
do
the
it.
the possibilities are endless. Like the thing is too, like I feel like that's like an untapped market because like I don't know, for some reason it doesn't strike me as weird, the idea of being a furry tattooer, because like tattooers are all different kinds of people. I mean, it's like the roots
Yeah.
of this come from like people who had to do this in the fucking circus. So I mean, like there's always been like a weird element within, but yeah, no, that struck me as like I'm like, okay, hell yeah, that actually makes sense. Like that's as
Piquing
we
my interest. Let's see.
yeah, it's weird in the sense that it's like
Book
a
an
verse.
appointment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I would never do that.
I'm just asking for a friend.
yeah. Where can I? Yeah, we'll talk after the stream, you know. But yeah, it's like weird in terms of like comparison to the mainstream, but then it's like it's kind of not weird to see that as, especially given that like the
yeah.
prevalence of like anime tattooing and shit. And I'm not saying like anime is fucking weird and fucking but I think being a furry is adjacent to anime somehow in my mind. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if
mean,
that's a
technically
weird-
because I saw this thing that Japanese anime was inspired by cats. Like that's why they look the way they do.
I've heard that before. Yeah.
So
Really interesting.
would that technically be furries because they're
Maybe
all
so.
cat
Yeah.
people?
All anime
They're all
is
cats.
furry content, you guys. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's you heard it here first, folks. But yeah, no, I don't know. That struck me as weird. All right, so we've done like intros and some like some improv topical shit, but I got these topics that I wrote down.
I'm scared.
May get controversial. Maybe you should be scared. Okay, so first up, I wrote this list like 2 weeks ago because 2 weeks ago we talked about
Was
doing
this
the
after
podcast.
we talked about everything
The-
that we had
we had
talked about?
we had talked about shit, and I kept saying like I need to write this down for the thing,
I know.
and then like
Then
30
he was
minutes
like, what
later,
did we talk about? I was like,
Wait.
and I was struggling to remember what all we talked about because I just kept saying like this would be great content.
yeah.
Okay,
Every time we finish a topic.
Immediately.
yeah.
Yep.
So the first thing that I wrote down, and this may be weird because your sister is the piercer here, but like first thing I wrote was piercers. So, all right. So just to get into the topic, like obviously piercing is something that has always gone on at tattoo shop. Not always, but like at least probably since like the 90s, probably even like the 80s. You know, like there are two forms of body modification, and piercing has always not
Just been, like,
always
the
Goes
standard.
hand in hand.
yeah. I mean, I don't, you know, like in the 70s or like even further back, I don't know where people went to get their ears pierced. They probably just like did it at home or something like that. But I mean, like
Walmart.
Walmart or Claire's. I don't know how long Claire's has been in business. If I cared more, I'd Google it. But, so I'll say how I feel about piercing. I kind of think that we're at the point in time where it's time for piercing and tattooing to deviate. Like, granted, like we're fortunate enough that like we work in a shop where the dude who owns the place is the one that mans the phone. Like we're not responsible for answering the phone. We're only responsible for like if somebody comes to the door and rings the bell, we go up to the front. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, it's a piercing,
And
then-
our own messages. Also, it started in 1978.
Okay, so yeah,
Claire's
so,
Piercing Day.
okay, so
That's
yeah.
actually a lot longer than I thought.
yeah. I mean, it's pretty obvious business model. I mean, like you sell
Why?
jewelry, so
That's
fucking
why
might as well.
everybody knows about Claire's Piercing.
Yeah. So okay, so you know, for a long time, like Claire's has been like the only like competition, but now like they're starting to be like piercing specific studios because obviously there's like more of a spectrum of different body modifications that could go down. And granted, we're in Texas, and I think we've talked about it before how like there's a lot of body modifications that are like not legal to do on the public,
Yeah.
like tongue splitting and like I showed you that one Instagram, I think, of that dude who does like nipple
Yeah.
removals and like
That's just so mind blowing.
yeah, it is
Like
crazy.
that's a surgical thing. I
Oh,
feel
yeah, I
like.
don't want this anymore.
Well,
Okay.
okay, so I mentioned it before. Like tattooing used to be this thing that was like a part of the circus. You know, you'd have like a tattooed person, and it was just somebody who had a fuckload of tattoos, and everybody's like, "Oh my fucking god,
Yeah.
like that's fucking crazy." But so with that being the case, like obviously, like tattooing is a lot more mainstream now. There's a lot more people. It's a lot more socially acceptable to have tattoos. But there's always been this exhibitionist element within like just tattooing and body mods in general. So now there's like people who become like basically viral, or like, you know, even going back to like the 90s and like the tattoo magazine era, there's like people who were like heavily tattooed and had like crazy body mods, and like I'm sure like back in the 90s like just having a split tongue was like a lot more controversial. And like, but you see like these certain people who are like it's like they have like an online presence because of the fact that they still have that exhibitionist element that used to earn them a spot in the circus. So you've got like I don't think he's around anymore. There was like a zombie kid or something like that, and he was like basically famous because he had a fucking skull tattooed on his face.
okay.
Yeah.
Y'all remember?
I
Yeah.
do, yeah.
I think I heard he died or something like
Oh,
that.
shit.
Yeah, but
Recent? Or
not super recent.
Was
like,
it-
last 10
is
years?
that the guy that like played in that movie?
I think he was in a movie like American.
Suicide Squad. Was it
No,
that guy?
no, that's not real. That's a different
Oh,
dude.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I was about to say, I was like,
Yeah.
dang, they got the real dude to.
No.
Did
But
no research in it at all.
I want to say that dude that
Enchilada.
the dude that I'm talking about, I think he was in like American Horror Story or something like that. Like he had like a cameo in American Horror Story or something like that. And he like he kind of had like a small like after he went kind of viral, he had like a fashion career, you know, because it's like striking. He like walks down the runway in your suit or
heavily
whatever.
tatted.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming he was like pretty fit or whatever. But there's like a whole like wave of people that are like that. Like, you know, there's like, I mean, it started like a long time ago. There was a dude who had like tribal tattoos on his face, and he was like famous just for having like a lot of like a high volume of tattoos. Like a lot of his real estate was tattooed. But now there's like, I know there's like one dude, I don't know what the fuck he goes by, but like his whole like fucking like mission is to like look like an alien. Bryson, you're breathing really hard, dude. Y'all can't hear it. Like, we'll enchilada that.
86 breathing.
I'm sorry. Okay, so there's the dude. He like wants to look like an alien, so he's got like all this like. Fucking I know it's intense content like being discussed here.
Too much attic dust. Here.
Do what?
Too much dust in the attic. Here.
Yeah, we
Breathe.
got it ASAP. We're getting you out. We're having a meeting about it on Monday apparently. So
Still thinking about
Yeah.
the furries.
Yeah.
hell
I do
yeah.
furry tattoos in my attic.
Yeah, hell yeah. Well, we'll get you out the attic.
Well, it's
dude.
not my
Yours
attic. It's
attic.
someone else's.
Hell yeah. All right, so homeboy, he's like tattooed black like almost everywhere. I'm pretty sure he has his ears like chopped up all weird. No. He has no ears. He has his ears completely
Oh.
removed. He has like basically from like where
Wonder what
you're.
that sounds like.
For real.
Dude,
Oh, I know
I wonder
what
if
you're talking about.
better hearing or like less hearing, because I think your ears like
Probably
serve a
less.
I thought
purpose.
it like traps sound in.
I think so. Yeah. That I think
Y'all
like
ever been to like the Denver Zoo and like near the elephant like exhibit whatnot? They've got these like two giant ears that you put your head in or whatever.
You can
and
hear
just-
better?
Oh yeah, it's
Oh.
crazy.
Okay, so he definitely hears not as good now. Okay, so but he also has like a part of his nose chopped off, like where your nose stops becoming bone and turns into cartilage. It's removed from there, so it looks like a fucking skull nose, and he looks weird. He even has these two fingers removed on both hands. Like I didn't know anybody actually did
He's
this.
committed.
He is fully committed to being like a fucking alien. I saw an interview where it was like two English people, and like one was like kind of like the old school parameters of being heavily modified. And he just had a bunch of tattoos and piercings. And then there was this girl, and she's like the modern iteration
fully
of
tattooed.
fully tattooed and like, you know, like just more advanced body mods. Like I think she probably had her tongue split, and then she
Is this where they like did this whole social experiment where they like had her go out and like ask people for stuff and nobody wanted to talk to her?
that
And
sounds
then they
familiar.
like covered her
I saw
whole
that.
body with makeup and like made her look all business professional. And then they're
yeah.
like, "Oh yeah, we'll help you."
I think I
Is
think
that
yeah.
one?
That
Yeah.
like that same, like, you know, if you spent 2 hours watching YouTube on this specific topic, you'd watch yeah.
Yeah.
I might have been the same video, I'm not sure. Anyways, on that video, she was talking about getting like a portion of her pinky removed, and I was like, "Oh, that's so fucking weird. Why would she do that?" And then fast forward to like last week when I was watching a video about the alien dude, and I'm like, he just has 2 whole ass fucking fingers
one-upped
removed.
her.
Yeah, he really did. And so anyways, getting back to like the core topic I was trying to discuss, like all this is like super high end piercing stuff. Like I've told, because me personally, even like whenever I was apprenticing to tattoo, I learned how to pierce because it's like, you know, you can apprentice for 2 weeks piercing and be able to like put piercings on the public and be able to create some kind of income while you're apprenticing.
Yeah.
But like with that being the meta, like I've told a lot of like people who are the piercers in tattoo shops that I've worked at, I'm like, listen, like you're gonna reach the fork in the road very quickly, and you're either going to become a tattooer or be the person that does fucking tongue splits and shit like that. And it's kind of interesting how that goes. It's like how do you want to advance from here? We were talking about it a couple weeks ago when Alex and Josh, whenever they guest spotted up here, and we went across the street and we were hanging out and talking and shit. And Gus informed me of some like I don't know if it's an obscure piercer tradition or if it's like just I just haven't really worked around that many like true piercers, because in my mind the true piercer, they've got like a blackout sleeve and they got like fucking
Bunch of piercing.
yeah, like a super crazy stretched labrae, like some
Yeah.
not practical piercing to have stretched. They have stretched like nostrils or fucking labrae or something like that. But in these kinds of circles, like the true piercer circle, they I guess it's like because you know like whenever they like we'll do like a punch out on somebody, like you want to skip a couple steps in the whole like
Oh,
getting
yeah.
something stretched process, and they do a punch out. It's a part. It's like a tradition to eat the punch out.
Oh,
No.
yikes. I don't know about that.
Y'all had never heard of that?
That's
No.
what that was?
That's the eating body parts thing.
Oh
Yeah, you
my
thought I was gonna like talk about
God.
cannibals and shit. And I guess that is cannibalism to
That's-
some degree,
Would it
but
be cannibalism for eating yourself?
I don't
We're
know.
talking about all of this like bloodborne pathogens, everything, and you're
Yeah,
oh.
yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's them, then they're not going to get anything.
Yeah. just
We're also
eat.
serving punch
Oh, you're
outs in the
saying on
attic.
yourself?
Yeah, nice. Hell yeah.
You're
Yeah.
saying on yourself?
Yeah,
Okay,
like
I
you
thought you
Yeah.
were saying the
eat
piercer
yourself.
just like
Oh, God.
It reminds me.
snack.
There's like a lot of like obscure Reddit stories that are talked about on YouTube, and there's like one obscure Reddit story where a dude like had to get like his foot amputated, and I think in modern times you can't request to keep the body part, like they won't let you take it for whatever reason.
Oh, really?
But this dude managed to get home with his foot, cut the meat off of his foot, and cooked it into tacos for him and his friends.
Did
Yeah.
the friends know?
Yes,
Oh
they
my
all wanted to
God.
participate. Like they were, I guess that they were good homies. Like,
God's like, well,
Die hard for the
you're going to hell for
boys.
this.
yeah. I mean, maybe so. Yeah,
That's-
Oh, my God.
Wow.
I've heard that there's like weird diseases you can catch from not only eating like human meat, but like monkey meat too. I don't know specifically what they're called or anything like that, but I have heard that there's like super specific diseases that can come
I
from
did
it.
see that with people eating, like, human brain. Like,
Oh yeah.
your brain still has a defense mechanism after it is dead. It will make you,
Toxins and
yeah, it will
whatnot.
make you sick. Like, pretty much go insane and die.
very interesting.
Yeah,
Too
just
That's
much
brain.
power, too much knowledge being
Yeah.
ingested.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the wisdom, you
Yeah.
know, it just wants to come out.
Maybe
That's
if I
crazy.
eat this, I'll pass algebra 2.
Maybe so, dude. It's not too late, dude. Remedial college classes.
So do you have to eat like a smart brain?
I don't know. Yeah, what's the
Do you
difference?
A
get
brain
Yeah.
that's
more
past
dumb?
algebra 2.
Or more
yeah.
dumb.
Yeah. I guess it depends on the person. Yeah. Okay, so some of these topics we kind of
Okay, I got a question though.
what is it?
Like circling back to the piercing, whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying that they should be like they should part ways.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel that way. Like, I feel like okay, yeah, I forgot
Okay, so
to
I guess-
I forgot to finish that off.
I guess my
Like,
question is, like, I don't know. I feel like Bella brings in a lot of like tattoos for us too. Like, I feel like
I
we
think
all
so.
kind of like
Yeah.
scratch each other's back, you know. And where
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel she brings
But
in
it's
a lot
like
of
I think
a
clients
so.
whole
for
other
us.
clientele that she
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
saying that either can't go without, but I feel like that's
That's kind of
Yeah.
kind
yeah.
of like our reputation here. Like
That's
she
a
kinda-
that's a two-sided coin. I would say like yes, there is that, but I think also like I think on the upper tiers of professionalism in both fields, they stand on their own. And like that's the thing too is like a lot of like these like moms that come in for piercings, they're not necessarily going to be getting like super cool tattoos that I want to put in my portfolio. And I mean I guess
It's a
like
different kind of clientele.
yeah,
being in
yeah.
that room.
Yeah, you've
she
got
said that divider ain't enough.
Yeah. Yeah. So
yes, I'm
I-
down for piercing to be separate.
yeah, that's just. I mean, that's really just like my personal opinion. Granted, like I'm far less burdened here than I have been at other shops, but like at other shops it just gets ridiculous. Like, you know, you happen to be like the only like you show up for an appointment early. And I mean, you could just say like, you know, fuck that phone. I know it's a piercing, but you know, you might take your gloves off and go answer the fucking phone because it could be a walk-in, you know, and you could like conveniently line up a walk-in after the tattoo that you're doing or whatever. But it's so disappointing whenever you're like, it's a piercing question. And you're like, or it's like at any time of the day, whenever you go in and you're working and like the piercer happens to be off or something like that. And you're like, you know, like granted,
Oh, yeah.
Answering the
someone's here.
same question all day.
yeah, like in any isolated incident, it's really not that big of a deal. But over time, like if you had to quantify the amount of time that you've spent taking gloves off and going and fucking answering the phone or answering the door to go tell somebody like, hey, the piercer's not here today.
Like as an independent contractor, like putting in
Right.
effort
Yeah. And
for someone else.
yeah, I mean, well, that sounds bad. And you're like, I don't want to do shit for anybody else. Yeah, but no, I mean, like the way I think about it, it's like, you know, ideally, whenever you're doing a tattoo, you can enter that flow state, and whenever you have that entire process interrupted because you've got to go do this thing that alternatively, like, just be its own independent business. That's where it's like, and it's like I think we have all the measures in place here to prevent that from happening because it's like when our piercer's not here, we put a sign on the door, piercer's not here, but then people come in and they're like, well, that sign won't help me because I can't read.
Yeah.
There's, you know,
Oh, ignore every time.
Yeah, they just
I
come
gotta
in
Take my
and-
gloves off. Go read.
yeah, and hit that bell with the triple ring, you know, just like you guys should be hitting that bell icon for notifications and like and subscribe.
Please.
Like,
Tattoo can only get so far.
But okay, so yeah, like that's my belief is that like I think that like where we're at, like there's a synergy is the word I'm looking for. There's a synergy that happens, and it makes sense that up to this point it has been. But like I also feel like a lot of like high-end tattoo shops, they don't bother themselves with piercings. Like obviously like the high end of piercing, they go into their own space, and I think that's really cool. Like I think the whole reason that this was like a topic on my mind is because I saw a post recently on Tattoo Shop Talk, and there was like some piercer that was like complaining like, why don't shop owners hold their, or why don't they, I can't remember if they were complaining about piercers.
Like being held up higher than.
Yeah, well, they were
Tattoos.
basically like, yeah, like why don't they hold piercers and piercings in the same regard that they hold tattoos? And it's like, because it's primarily a tattoo shop. What the fuck do you mean? It's like most tattoo shops, like they don't they don't design the whole business model around like, oh, we're gonna have piercings too, you know.
We're
So
gonna have
it's
5 piercers and 1 tattoo artist.
yeah. I would work there. I would love that. You know, there'd be 5 piercers to answer the phone and fucking take care of paperwork and do all that shit. Because I'm assuming that, like, you know, as a piercer, you have so much free time on your hands. What do you even do? Like,
Yeah.
I don't
Because
know.
they're not doing art.
Yeah. It's, I mean, you like, I guess they have like a pound of flesh of ears, and they're just like, you know,
Constantly stabbing them.
yeah, nailed it that time. Yeah, got it. It's I don't think it's as nuanced of a. It's an art form, right? Like, I just don't think it's as nuanced. There's not as much of a dragon to chase with piercing as there is with tattooing. Because tattooing, that's one of the most fulfilling things about it, is that you can. There's always something to improve at, because the thing is, like, it's already been. The path has already been blazed, you know, like, no matter anything that you may want to do, there's somebody that's already done it better, and it's your job to, like, do the homework to, like, figure out how they figured it out. And there's no excuse to not always be making progress with it. Whereas I feel like with piercing, it's like there's only so many frontiers
It's
with
more
that.
cookie cutter, straightforward. There is a right way to do it.
Right.
There is a
Unless you
wrong
do-
way to do it. Like,
Right.
like, obviously there's like deviations and different ways to
Right.
do stuff, but I feel like it's more
Straightforward.
Yeah.
straightforward. Here's a book.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
There's not as much room for innovation with it. There's some, but just not as much room for innovation, and not
Unless
as
you
much.
do, like crazy modifications.
Right. And then it's like how do you even find an opportunity to practice that?
Because
Like,
this clientele is not getting like crazy
no, yeah, I mean,
anything really.
yeah, absolutely. But yeah, okay. So that's as much as I want to say about like the whole piercer thing. I think it's interesting that post was what like provoked it all, because it was funny that like this piercer held themselves in such a high regard that they're like, why am I not being respected like a tattooer? Like, why am I not being accommodated?
What were the comments like?
Oh, shitting all over this person. Yeah, like it was kind of brutal, but then it was just like funny, because my main point whenever I commented on there was like, so the main mistake that you're making is like drawing a comparison between the two things. And I get it, because like classically these two services have been rendered in the same establishment, but they're not the same thing. So for you to expect one thing based on what's going on with the other, that's where it's like, if you have complaints about like what accommodations are being made to you and your piercing, then like that's valid. But if you're like doing that based on external cues that come from tattooing, that's where it's a problem, because it's like, well, I mean, you shouldn't expect the same things from tattooing. If you're not comfortable, go somewhere else. But okay, so that's it for piercing. We kind of addressed the come up. The come up was like art education, apprenticeship, all that kind of
How it
shit.
began.
Yeah. Okay, so something that I originally was going to piggyback on the whole, like the come up, and we kind of hit on this, but where's it going? Like, I guess first of all, 5 years from now, where do you want to be?
Hopefully owning my own shop. in
You
5
want that?
years. I want that.
You want to
Maybe
do
more-
you want to do like the studio thing, like you pay your rent and you've got like, do you want to have people working under you?
More like just working at the studio, like you get your own,
You can get a suite.
yeah,
Yeah.
like booth rent, whatever's easier. I don't know. I
work
feel like
your own
booth
schedule.
rent, yeah, work your own schedule, do your own appointments, answer your own phone call.
Yeah.
Like everything's on you. More just creating a space where it's like just artists you want to be around,
Yeah.
other than walk-in artists.
Yeah, having it counted against you because you couldn't see eye to eye with the walk-in.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Yeah, I mean, like you.
I mean, yeah, walk-ins are cool. Like it's getting
They're cool when they're
clientele.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, but I want to stray away from that.
Yeah.
Hopefully, honestly, I really like. There's this one shop that's your mother's. Have you heard that? Your Mother's Place or whatever.
Yeah.
They have a really just cool setup where it's like, oh, they have like a whole
Is that the one in
cafe.
Dallas? Yeah,
Yeah, they have
I
a
was
whole like
looking at that.
cafe and lounge area, and then I'm like, that'd be so cool.
You like that?
I love that.
Cool. Hell yeah.
Coffee and tattoos, maybe even
We just
a bar.
really,
and tattoos.
really needed a break room.
Yeah,
that's
it's
too
hyped about it.
It's been
Yeah.
great.
Have you seen
yeah.
it though?
Our wait.
Oh,
wait.
Your
The shop we're
Mother's?
talking about. It is.
No.
It's
It's
a
pretty
whole
creative.
aesthetic. It's so put together. Like it looks nice.
Let me hang on.
You have to look at it.
Yeah.
Here,
Oh
I'll
yeah,
pull it
there's
up.
a whole like tour video, everything. Like it's not like all together, but like they've got like what is it? Is it like a coffee station whatnot where they
have a
actually
whole
serve?
barista bar.
Yeah. I don't know if that's
Is
like,
the
just
barista-
for clientele whatnot.
Oh, okay. All right. That answers my question.
I don't know.
Is it
wasn't
is it like an
very-
independent business that's like just like perhaps more adjacent to the tattoo shop than like maybe it otherwise would
It
be?
was like a very open
Oh,
floor
Mother's
plan.
House.
Is that the one?
I think I've heard about it.
Let's see. I have to find the video.
I know I've sent it to you at one point.
Oh, well, they also do like little events where they have like booths and people sell stuff.
That's kind of cool. Yeah, I like that it like facilitates.
Wait till you. Is that the one we're thinking of? Or the one I'm thinking of?
Yeah, that's
That
that
looked
one.
like it.
Yeah, it's that one.
Hell yeah, some vintage clothing. Hang on, let
I
me.
feel like that gave
Yeah, just
more
look through
like
the-
studio vibes. Like there's a couple people there. They've like very set in their stations.
Their
whatnot.
style,
Like, you
they
know,
are.
yeah.
I
Like
mean,
everyone-
it looks like they
they
do
made it.
cool tats here. They got like the like the core ingredient here. Like they definitely got it.
Yeah.
When did they open up?
Not
So,
that long
I
ago.
feel like it was fairly recent, or at least I saw about it
Is
recently.
it is it actually a house?
Yeah.
It looks like a
it's
house.
an old house
That
turned
is cool.
into a studio.
Where's
I
that,
like
Dallas?
that. Like
and
I
love
think
that
that's cool.
idea.
Yeah.
Like it's so homey.
It'd be cool to have something like I feel like
Your mom's house.
the Magnolia area is like just waiting for
Yeah.
something like this.
Prime real estate.
Yeah, yeah. Especially if it was like because there's obviously like a lot of residential shit around there, but it's like a lot of that residential shit I think is like being zoned for commercial use.
It sounds like so many permits to do that.
But I mean, if it's already done, then I mean, yeah, I mean,
Just
I
sounds
actually-
like extra hoops to jump through to
I
do that
mean,
in like a neighborhood or
it
something.
might not be because like that's the thing is there's a lot of businesses that are that like
Yeah.
they it's being in a residential building like a house is like facilitated by it. Like obviously a tattoo shop, each bedroom can be like its own booth.
Studio space,
Yeah,
yeah.
studio space. And I will say like they got the core elements down. Like there's like they actually do good tats there, which is like the most important. We'd be having a different conversation if I didn't feel like they did good tats, but and I mean I think that like maybe perhaps some of this stuff in my opinion is like the frills, but it has a lot of like feminine touch to it.
Yeah.
It kind of seems like there's like it's like all girls that work here,
I think
so it makes
so.
sense.
Because it looks clean and put together.
But a lot of the artists there.
It's just so like extra.
I'm just
like,
wondering.
it's so
Groovy.
vibe oriented.
Yeah, it really
Yeah.
is. But a lot of the people that work there are fairly new at tattooing.
I mean they're good.
Like I worked with two of them at Arlington Ink, and they were apprentices.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you got it, if you have it
You've
in
got
you,
your own
then
shop
like
and
Yeah.
damn.
you know,
Well, no, it's not their own shop, but they
Alright.
work there, and I was like, dang.
like I tell people all the time, like you hear a lot of like tattooers who are like, I've been doing this for 30 years, and it's like, bro, nobody gives a fuck. First of all, it's like, I mean, if actually no, I shouldn't say nobody gives a fuck because unfortunately some people do give a fuck about that because they think that there's a direct correlation between tenure and ability to tattoo. But I've seen people who have like tattooed for a long fucking time that are just like burnt out as fuck and don't give a shit anymore, but they haven't like figured out an out, so they're just like stuck doing bullshit
Yeah.
tattoos.
That's honestly a scary thought. Like,
Oh yeah.
we're like really thinking about this. Like, when we're 60, like, what's gonna happen?
We're all
Because
Yeah.
arthritis,
It's-
carpal tunnel,
Yeah,
out of a
it's-
job.
It's totally on you. I mean, like I've seen a lot of tattooers that recommend like putting aside like 20% of your income to be able to
Yeah.
have a contingency plan or have a retirement because, yeah, I mean it is really scary. I mean, like it's totally
Hire someone to be my hands.
For
yeah,
real.
yeah. Well, okay, so it's like any other thing too. I mean, like people who are really good at football, you don't stay really good at football forever because your body gives out on you, but you
Yeah.
eventually learn the skills to be able to teach other people to be really good at football. So like, you know, like I think that that's like the background to be a good shop owner is like being able to have that eye because that you know your vision doesn't go away. It's just your ability to create the vision.
That's a scary thought.
It is super scary. But I mean, like you have to. It's healthy for you to think about that kind of thing because
Like,
it's
just getting started already thinking about retirement
end.
stuff.
Yeah.
Like, damn.
that's how it has to be. I mean, like
No,
nobody
it's
does it
smart
for
to-
you. You know, like the most jobs that you might have, like they automatically take it out of your paycheck. Like we're gonna take this amount for
Yeah.
Uncle Sam, and then we'll give you your payback at the end of the year.
Conscious budgeting.
Yeah,
and
there's-
saving.
There's so much things that happen autonomously in other fields that you never have to think about. Whereas with tattooing, it's like, oh, you're going to pay your taxes? Okay, well, you better have that set aside. Otherwise, it's going to
Yeah.
be a substantial amount of money you have to pay. Oh, you want to retire one day? Okay, well, you better.
That's funny.
Also
Yeah,
the same.
yeah, yeah.
What is that?
Yeah.
What did she say?
No, I mean, like, so, and I was talking about this with Clay earlier. It's like most, like, wise tattooers that I've interacted with, they start thinking about this when they're, like, in their mid 40s, because so feasibly, you could think about doing this for the next 20 years and not have to worry about it. So maybe you shouldn't have to worry about it right now. But when you get to your mid 40s, you need to figure out some kind of a passive income if you haven't been putting away money from your golden years.
Yeah.
And I mean, ideally you make like wise financial decisions. I mean, sometimes opening a tattoo shop, especially one where you're going to like create the amenities for other artists to work there, sometimes that's not the play. Because I mean, as we've seen with other people, like you can invest a fuckload of money in a shop and have it not be successful. So yeah, I don't know, basically you have to create passive income for yourself to be able to have a retirement. But I've seen a lot of tattoo. I mean, I even see it. My parents work like super normal jobs, but I mean, even like for them, Social Security is like not a thing. So
Oh, yeah. No.
yeah, I don't know. It's super weird thinking about that. I didn't know that this is where we were going to go with where's it going. I thought we were going to talk about like oversaturation and
Well, that too.
shit like that.
I
But
mean,
I guess
do you think that since it's oversaturated right now, a lot of people are gonna like kind of drop off in a couple years? or-
Oversaturated with what kind of?
it's just
artists.
there's more people doing. Okay, I don't necessarily think that it's unhealthy for the industry. It's way more. I don't know. Like it's like half of it's.
Hating on me?
No. It's way more competitive, which I think is good for like the state of the art. Like, but the thing is too, like there's a huge sector of the public that wants tattoos that don't know how to give a fuck about what they're having tattooed on them. So like, you could do a badass like you specifically could do a really badass tattoo on somebody, and it's like they don't even know what they got. Like I think you're not necessarily like I think the reality is that that's not happening to you because like earlier whenever that girl came in, she's like, well, I was just gonna let you pick. I've picked the last 2 tattoos
Oh,
that I
yeah.
got, and like I think it sounded like I was joking, but like I was really like trying to encourage her to continue in that thought process. Like she actually was
I just gave her her first tattoo maybe a month ago, and she
Yeah.
rescheduled for tomorrow, and
Yeah.
just popped in today to get one. She's
Yeah.
like, "You pick."
Yeah.
I was like,
This-
okay.
This hits on like one of the later topics. I was
I'm
gonna,
excited.
but she had the green flags. Like she was like, and I think the younger people. Okay, I shouldn't generalize because there's some younger people that are just like fucking, like they don't get
Whatever.
it. Like yeah, like I don't want to say like oh they're fucking dumb, but like it's like they just don't get it. Like they've never been a part of a creative process to like know how to like exhibit ideal behaviors, but
I think that's why Pinterest is such like a heavy aspect for these people because they see it done.
Yeah.
Like they see all the details all right there. Like
it addresses what we were talking about earlier with like
Yeah.
not being able to envision things. I agree. I think Steve Jobs, like it's funny, like there's a Steve Jobs, he was like giving a speech to like some like graduating class of a college, and I think it was in that speech he said something about staying hungry, and I was like, fuck yeah, I'm getting that tattooed on me, and I fucking did. I've got stay hungry.
Really?
Oh my God.
I've got stay hungry big as fuck. It's bigger now. But like I'm like, fuck yeah, I am gonna stay hungry.
stretching.
He manifested it.
Yeah. But in that same speech, he said something like, I think he was talking about like the iPhone, and he was saying like, obviously nobody before the iPhone knew they needed an iPhone. but now everybody has like something that's an iPhone or either an iPhone or something based on an iPhone. You know, it's like the smartphone. We didn't know that we wanted it until it was shown to us. And I think it's the same deal with like tattoo designs. It's like that's the point of Tattoo Flash. That's the point of like, you know, like putting your shit out there. Ideally, it comes back around to you, but yeah, people just they just don't know until you show it to them. And I mean, in some cases it's hard to envision before it's been fully rendered. And you know, you're for some people it's so bad that you have to like fucking draw it out, shade it,
Yes.
color
You have to do
it, take a
all the
picture of
steps.
their arm, put the picture of their arm in the background on the iPad, and then like transpose
Midway
it onto them.
through the tattoo.
Yes.
Okay, I see it now.
Yeah, you're like, okay, well, I'm glad you trusted me up to this point. Like,
Glad
too
we
late.
got there.
yeah. I mean, I think we take it for granted because you know it's like we have the vision, we know what's being gone for. But I like I said earlier, like I think that's like the real thing that we're paid to do is to maintain that vision and to be able to, ideally, help guide people into a better tattoo if they're not like so hard-headed about it and like think they have it figured out. And then
Reorganize the chaos and
Yeah.
all of the ideas to
Yeah.
something that's gonna
yeah.
aesthetically.
Look good.
It was funny earlier. There was a girl that came in and she was like, "Yeah, so I want this mermaid out of that book." And like me and Zach went over and looked at it and we're like, "I don't see a fucking mermaid on this sheet." And then like finally after like a minute or so, I'm like, "Oh wait, that's a fucking mermaid." Like I could
is
not.
it the one with the hair is like going up or whatever?
It's
She's,
like weird.
sitting?
Yeah, she's like sitting in like from behind. You can see the hair falling
Yeah.
behind it, and I'm like,
No.
she wanted it on her head too, and I'm like,
Size wise.
Oh, what part? What part?
Like-
Was she bald?
it was gonna involve some shaving. Yeah, so I was just
Barber
like,
skills.
I decided, you know what? Fuck it. Like, worst case scenario, I don't have to do this fucking tattoo I don't want to do anyways. I'm like, I'm going to be brutally honest with you. That's a terrible fucking idea to put on your head. Like, that's like, just the fact that we sat here for fucking 60 seconds trying to figure out what fucking, that's a testament to its, like, ineffectiveness as a design. Like, fucking, if you want,
Please, no.
yeah, like it's supposed to be a simple design. Like one of the benefits of a simple design is that it has instant recognition. Like you don't want this. And I started to say, you know, I could just sit here and take your money, and I think that's even farther than I got into that statement. She's like, "Oh, I'm still gonna get it," and it's like, "All right, bitch." Like fucking, like I mean, all right, ma'am. Like. You know, whatever, like it's fine, but like that kind of behavior is the kind of shit where it becomes very difficult to utilize our frame of reference to be able to help people into a tattoo that I feel like is a
Closed mindset.
right, or not even a closed mindset, but just think. I guess it is a closed mindset. Just thinking they've already got it figured out, and it's like, all right, well, you know what? Yeah, fuck
Why'd
me.
you come here?
Yeah, I only do this for a living. You know, I guess if you've got it all figured out, I don't know why you're here. You should have just
you're
tattooed.
The pro.
Yeah, you should have just tattooed it on yourself. So
Here you go.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, yeah. For a small rental fee, you can come into my station and tattoo it on yourself.
I like it when they're like you can tell that they're getting frustrated because you can't figure out where exactly they want the stencil. I hand them the stencil. Here you go.
Oh my goodness.
Here you go. Place this where you want this at.
Here's a mirror. Here's your arm.
Yeah, I've
Here's
done
the
that a couple
stencil.
times.
Yeah, you can put it on yourself. Yeah.
Show
Actually,
me.
it happened today.
I've
With
never
the same
done that.
group of people that walked in for those walk-ins.
Sorry.
Just right in your face.
Yeah, she was getting frustrated with me, so I
That
handed
is
her the
funny.
stencil. It was just a little wave tattoo.
That's the thing about like super minimalist tattoos like that. Anyways, is like I think people don't realize that there's like so much higher of a margin for error on a super minimalistic tattoo like that. Not only in placement, but like that's part of the reason why I hate doing not like script, like cool script, but like fucking stupid like fonts that mandatorily have to be just like printed off the fucking iPad and put on their
Times New
body.
Roman.
Yeah, and it's like,
Nice.
yeah, like I've sworn off of Roman numerals. Like I don't know.
I can't do.
I can't. Yeah, like I'm not down with that. Like it's not designed to be aesthetically
Teeny tiny.
appealing. It's just like this like long rectangle that does not benefit anyone's form. Like it's not.
Or when girls want it like going long ways on the ribs,
Yeah.
instant fuck up. I fuck up every time I do this Roman
Yeah,
numerals.
like another PSA to everyone: stop getting Roman numeral tattoos. Your last Roman numeral tattoo was your last Roman numeral tattoo. Don't do it anymore.
Does anyone here have Roman numeral tattoos?
Fuck no, baby.
All right.
Do you?
You-
Oh.
Oh wait,
You've
yeah,
done
yeah, I
both.
do.
let me see
Yeah,
your
I do.
Roman
The little
numerals.
one.
Dude. Show me.
Oh, you do?
All right.
You're shunned. You're shunned.
Get out.
Okay.
Get out. See the door. I know you got to go to bed anyways. Get out.
Hey,
For
Chris
us to be
going
up in 3 hours.
Yeah.
Really?
No,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be at work in 3 hours.
Oh my fucking god.
I don't
Yeah,
know
I
how
got
you
like
do
a
that.
half-hour drive home.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh.
I got him with this.
You missed that. Okay. All right. Let's rush
going
through
back.
these last couple topics and then we'll wrap it up. I don't know how long we've been recording, anyways. Oh,
least an
we got it. We got it. Yeah, we got an hour 15 minutes. That's a solid
Look at
podcast right there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, this one's like super concise to answer. Original content versus what the client wants. We literally have been talking about this.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, everybody would rather tattoo their original content. That puts effort into their original content. Some artists don't. We've seen how that goes, and they're just. I just love doing tattoos. Like, oh, I bet you do. Yeah. Okay. Whatever.
Line for line.
Line for fucking line, dude. Fucking okay. That actually, like, we might enchilada the fuck out of that part because I'm just like feeling like a huge hater right now. You know, I'm not like whatever. I
That's
don't.
gonna be our new word.
Yeah.
Enchilada that.
It started
Uh,
today.
Actually, it's funny. We just coincidentally were addressing a lot of the topics that I wrote down because what I
All
wrote.
went down the same rabbit hole.
Yeah. So original content versus what the client wants. Obviously, we're going to do original content. Practical tattoo elements versus what the client wants. Obviously, if a person's like able to have, if someone's able to be talked to in a way, like if they're a fucking adult and like they don't think they have it figured out, obviously, you know, like just do what the fucking artist tells you. Like, I mean, and that's not unconditional. I mean, like, there's some artists that will act like they know what the fuck they're talking about, and in reality, like, they kind of don't. But
I feel like I've heard that a lot this week
what's that?
about like other shops like pressuring people into getting tattoos and in like a asshole-ish way. Like
So
I've
that's
heard
like the
that from
that-
like at least 4 people this week.
I feel like that's the flip side to what I'm saying, because it's like, like from the outside looking in, that's what it feels like. Like,
Like there's different ways to go about it, and I feel
yeah,
like
for sure.
that-
I kind of, my thing is, I kind of don't care if like somebody else feels the way that you just described, because it's like ultimately I know that my heart is in the right place. Like if somebody's like, he pressured me into getting some fucking 8-round shader lines. It's like, oh no, you know, you didn't get the fucking bullshit 3-round liner shit that you wanted, you know. Plus it's like I'm operating within like my my wheelhouse, you
I feel
know.
like or at least the comments that I've heard like this week are like fairly, like clients that are fairly new to the tattoo industry, whatnot,
Yeah.
like in some of their first ones or some of their bigger ones,
Yeah.
and just hearing that they went to another shop and it just wasn't a good vibe, and
Yeah. So I think the key to that is like as a
like not to say that it's all about like how you treat your client,
But that's a thing. I mean, like most people would rather get like a, I don't want to say mediocre. People would rather get
a lower quality tattoo with a good experience than a good quality tattoo with
yes,
a bad experience.
precisely that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It
yeah,
can be a great tattoo, but like that's like a whole memory behind that.
right.
that
Exactly that. I think
feeds into like the actual how you perceive it.
yes, absolutely that. The PSA that I want to put out on this specific topic is like clients should stick to their guns, because ultimately it's like if you, the way you described them feeling is like they allowed themselves to be pressured into getting a tattoo they're not happy with, but it's like ultimately stick to your guns. Worst case scenario, you put down a deposit for a drawing and then couldn't eventually see eye to eye with the artist. But I also feel like a lot of that is alleviated with doing the homework, you know, because it's like if the person has a developed enough portfolio that you can look at their stuff and know with certainty that you're going to get something that you're happy with, then like I don't know why I'm sitting here like this is how I feel.
So metal, bro.
Yeah, just get metal tats. That's it. Nah,
Stick to the guns.
get this kind of tattoo.
So, yeah.
But I think if clients do their homework, you'll never find yourself in that weird realm of miscommunication with your artists. And it's like, if you're not trying to implement so much, like, I don't know, like, do you guys feel like a tattoo is a collaboration between you and the client? Like,
Sure.
Yeah.
like, and they kind of,
Their body, their
Right.
Like, this is their art. They have to live with this to where, again, you're guiding them.
yeah. So, like, I mean, our homework comes in the form of having a very, again, I'm doing it again. Our homework comes in the form of having a very effective communication with them. And I think that, like, a lot of our ability to make the most of that conversation comes in the form of, like, all, like I was saying earlier about mind reading and being able to pick up on the
Listening.
cues they give. Yeah,
Hearing.
actually listening, hearing,
Yeah.
and, like, you know, and also, like, being comfortable. Like, if somebody, if in the event that the client is not able to communicate
See eye to
effect,
eye.
yeah, like, if the client's giving cues that they're not communicating effectively, and but you know in your heart of hearts that you're not going to be able to do what they want based on the fact that you can read them but they're not on the hard read for you. I think on the tattooer end, it's important to be honest about where your comfort zone lies. Like, there could still be compromise found, but I don't think that the clients should compromise too much, because I think a lot of the time they feel like, I got to get tattooed now. I've got this money now, so I got to get it. And then they end up, like, not being happy with it. The thing is, like, you know, in the moment in which you're interacting with somebody that's going to do your tattoo, or the moment up until you get your tattoo, it's like, you've lived your whole life without this tattoo. Like, I promise you're going to make it if you don't get the tattoo. But also, like, once you get it, it's on you forever. So it's like, do the prerequisite stuff to make sure that the tattoo is going to come out the way you want. So it's like, check out the portfolio, make sure that it, like, lands in, like, their, you know, comfort zone. You know, and be very, like, there's no such thing as having too much reference material. It's like, if you go in and you're like, I've got 10 different pieces. I mean, granted, that might get kind of overwhelming. You know, you got, like, I like the wings on this one. I like
It's
the,
overwhelming when everything's different. I'm like,
Yeah.
whoa, what do you
Everything's
like?
different.
Color?
Yeah.
No color.
yeah.
It's overwhelming when they don't know what they want and they've got so many, like, complete, like,
Opposite references.
and references
Yeah.
to where you're like, at least me, like, I feel like I'm still struggling, like, dealing with that because I don't know how to, like, guide them when they have absolutely no idea what they want.
Yeah.
It's like, what are we doing here?
For me, the big indicator that they've not done their homework is that they can tell you what they don't want, but they can't tell you what they do want. Like, where they're like, well, I don't like it like that. I don't want it like that.
For example, the kid that was talking to me today about he wants a line piece with Hebrew script, but then the other reference that he wanted was, okay, that first piece was super realistic with, like, script involved with it.
Yeah.
The next piece was neo-trad, only line work style, Greek mythology arm sleeve. And I was like, okay, so are you wanting more realistic or are you wanting more line work and neo-trad? He's like, well, I feel like
Yes.
they don't really go together because it's two different religions. I'm like,
No.
I don't
yeah.
know if a lion is a religion.
Like, yeah, I mean, I can
But-
see. I think
We can
yeah.
I'm not sure where we're going with this, but
Yeah.
I'm lost.
But we can definitely merge pieces.
That's the weird thing too, is that, like, I think a lot of the time clients are, like, kind of indifferent to the stylistic approach to it, because they see things from, like, this is a lion. This is, you know, like, they're looking more at the specific subject matter, whereas we're looking at it from, like, this is a bunch of lines and
Stylistic.
shading, you know, like, we're not looking at it for, like, what it specifically is. So, yeah, I don't know, that's weird. I think, I don't know, I being able to communicate in those circumstances is such a valuable skill. It's almost more valuable. Like, it kills me to know this or to feel this way, but I feel like a lot of the time being able to talk to people is a more valuable skill than, like, or it's a more, like, you could go to art school for fucking years and it
And
does
not
not,
know,
yeah,
yeah.
it does not do you as much good as
Oh,
just being
yeah.
able to fucking talk to people. Like, it sucks how valuable,
communicate.
yeah,
listen.
communication,
Like when I first
yeah.
started here, I did not learn. I honestly say I did not learn much when I first started my apprenticeship here.
Mm-hmm.
It was with Clay.
Yeah.
I did not learn how to communicate with people. I did not
Yeah.
learn how to talk to people when they called the phone or walk in or
You
set
weren't-
my own appointment.
You
or-
weren't responsible for like working the counter or anything like that.
I was, yeah, but like I never really learned. Like, okay, yeah, I did paperwork,
Yeah.
Answering
and
those
then
questions.
answer
so.
like, oh, who are you gonna go with, like blah blah blah. But when it came to like, I finally became a tattoo artist. I never learned how to
Navigate.
talk to them. Yeah, navigate the conversation to. It was very overwhelming. But then when I went and did an apprenticeship, I got my ass drilled into for not being able to talk to customers and learn how to, you know, talk about pricing, sizing, placement, all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I learned a lot like on the spot when I was at a different shop.
So I posted recently on Tattoo Shop Talk, and I was asking about like counter help, tip out for counter help. How should counter help be paid? I think most tattooers feel like the counter help, when it's needed, should be paid hourly, and then if you want to tip out, it should be elective. And I like I told homeboy earlier that walked in that was asking about an apprenticeship. I was like, be forewarned, like this industry thrives on the exploitation of like prospective people who might want to get into it. Like, and it kind of sucks, but it's like from the apprentice perspective, it's like you want to create a mutualistic relationship between you and the place where you work. But also like there's always going to be that shop that's like willing to take on an apprentice, but it's like ultimately they don't have an end game established for that apprentice. Like they're glad to have somebody there. But with all that being said, there's valuable skills that you pick up if you get to, like, it could be considered the worst apprenticeship ever if you're in a place where the artists are assholes, they don't want to fucking talk to the public and all this shit. But with that being said, the other side of that particular coin is that, like, you get valuable experience in terms of being able to talk to people. So that's, I mean, in general, like, if you're in an apprenticeship where like the people who work there are assholes to you, like, yeah, it sucks when people are assholes to you, but at the same time, that willingness to be an asshole to you, it has its benefits that come in the form of you being able to like expand your skill set, whether it's like,
Character building.
yeah, just being able to like tolerate asshole behavior, you know, being able to compensate for their laziness and just like working at a higher level because of the fact that you're so used to there being like really high shit demanded of you. But yeah, I mean, I think that yeah, it sucks that there's like, you know, that charisma goes so much farther in tattooing, at least in the current meta. I mean, I think eventually, because I think that in general, the public is like, it becomes more educated all the time because there's so many resources, there's so much content on like this specific topic that like warrants that in a lot of cases we can take for granted that like most clients you'd actually want to work on, they kind of come preloaded with like a lot of like useful information. And that's how you get people like that chick that you were interacting with today. Okay, I'm gonna blaze through these last couple topics. Okay, body smells.
Oh
He
God.
smells.
Yeah, I just addressed this on like my last video, and like I low key, unless it's like poopy butthole smell, like there's not many like body smells. I mean, and it's got to be bad. Like it's pretty seldom that you like have to put a tattoo on, because obviously like fucking if somebody doesn't care to wipe their ass adequately, like they're probably not upgrading their body with fucking tattoos, you know, because they just don't care about their body at all.
I know, I've seen a couple people put masks on to go do tattoos recently. I was
Yeah.
like, oh,
There's something to that. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, like, be personally, like, I mean, like, if somebody's got a stinky armpit or whatever, like,
That's whatever.
yeah,
It's when people come in, like, it's mainly walk-ins,
Yeah.
late at night. When you just know, like, they're just dirty.
yeah,
Like, there was this one dude that walked in, and he didn't even, like, we were tattooing his calf, and he was, like, you can just smell him from, like, us apart. I was like, oh, God. I was like, don't take your shoes off, please.
yeah.
And I was, like, cleaning his calf, and it was not getting clean. Like, I'm like, why is this still dirty?
Do y'all do that? Do y'all like, because I mean, obviously, like before you put a stencil on, you like give them the wipe down with like Dettol or
I look
alcohol
at
or
it.
something. Yeah, I do that
I'm
too.
like, see how dirty
Yeah,
you are. Dirty.
I do. Yeah,
Banner.
yeah,
God.
I feel
yeah.
so bad. Like, doing that? Like when like these girls have like fake tan on or
Yeah,
something. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm
Rubbing
sorry,
alcohol.
girl. Like
Yeah.
you have a little patch here.
That's how I feel whenever I have to like bust out a razor and I'm tattooing a woman. You know, I'm like, I'm not trying to make a statement here. This is just like protocol. Like I have to do this.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm just gonna shave your
I
peach
usually
fuzz.
drop
Yeah.
the peach fuzz
Yeah.
line.
Yeah, just a little peach fuzz.
I find
Yeah.
that like hair honestly does have a lot of bacteria in it. It's kind of really gross.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely facilitates a tattoo getting infected. So yeah, get it. And if nothing else, I mean, like Sanoderm sticks better to clean skin rather than the hairy skin. So you know.
Did y'all hear that conversation today about Sanoderm versus no Sanoderm? Or
Oh, it was heated.
Just
That's-
Oh, yeah.
that's
I didn't
interesting.
hear all of it.
Well, he
I
took
think-
it very offensively. I
Yeah.
don't get why though.
Who?
Travis.
Travis did.
Yeah.
I felt like
I'm curious to see
Gus
what the
was.
points. Of,
I think Gus was more offended, but I think that he was justified in being offended. I don't.
like he was
The thing is, I
the
don't.
way he
I,
went about it.
I kind of think maybe both parties in that situation, they're you kind of can't tell him shit. In Gus's case, it's like you can't tell him shit for good reason because he's got this shit all figured out. So why the fuck would you try to have something to say?
Yeah.
Which I think was ultimately, I think that was like the big fault of Travis is that like fucking the thing is like I think Gus was tattooing somebody and then fucking I don't know we might inch a lot of this part, but fucking I think what ended up happening was Travis was like kind of talking shit about the idea of not putting Sanoderm on, which is like, bro, like fucking tattooing has existed for fucking
We've gotten this far.
There's been
yeah.
full bodies tattooed and no sand.
yeah, like I mean, honestly, you should be ashamed for having that take. Like fucking, like honestly, he should be ashamed for fucking trying to like the thing is, you have to be hyper aware of what you say around other people's clients. You know, it's like even if like you don't feel like they're doing such a solid tat, like you know, you want to gas them up. Like there's that Monday Malarkey meme where it's like Ray Charles and he's got like fucking he's like got his sunglasses on and he's like smiling all big and it's like basically all the things you'd say when you go check out your coworker's tattoo. It's like, oh, that's tight, man.
Yeah.
That's sick, bro. That's a sick tat. You know, it's like you do
Hell
that
yeah,
for the
brother.
client
Yeah.
and then you wait till afterwards to have the constructive criticism conversation because you don't want for a client to
Where's
feel
it
some
at?
type of way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's that?
But I think the big issue with that specific conversation was that for whatever a weird take in general, like you should be using Sanoderm, like fucking, bro, come the fuck on, like
Then the client's like, oh, "What is that? I want that."
yeah, it's like specifically with that conversation, it was funny that like he was like, I've never had a bad experience with Sanoderm, and it's like, well then how do you know not to put it on the back of somebody's arm, or how do you know
Yeah.
to give people the heads up that like you know it could cause irritation on a part of the body that stretches? That seems like a product of a bad experience.
Yeah.
So
I'm curious though, like the actual like physical, like how much better does a tattoo heal on its own
yeah.
versus with the second skin?
I wish I had a better.
Like I feel like there's no.
I wish I had a better testimony to provide you with because I did that experiment on my feet. Ryder did both my feet, and I can't tell a difference. Grant, am I happy with the state of my feet?
The way I
Not
was
super.
looking at it today, though, is it's kind of an extra safety net of, okay, hey, I know for the next X amount of days that this is going to be
In a stasis.
sterile,
Yeah.
contained.
Yes. Yeah. I think that. I mean, it also depends on the part because, like, you know, like, and I've had that same experience that he was accidentally describing where, like, you put it on the inside of somebody's arm and you run into issues when the skin can stretch more than the Sanoderm can, and you get that like pulling effect that happens, and it causes. And granted, also there's like the whole portion of the public or whatever that has reactions to adhesives. So you know, it's like
I went on a deep dive on recovery and Sanoderm and Derm Shield, just all of the different brands, like
Yeah.
kind of when I was making that aftercare whatnot.
yeah,
There's so much to that. There's so much.
the aftercare.
Yeah.
The after. I didn't even
Where
think about that, but
you're
that.
supposed to leave it on, what, 24 hours, take it off, reapply?
Yeah, yeah. If you're following
And
it by the book, yeah.
I
I
yeah.
guess along the lines of the reactions, they were very careful how they chose their words to,
Yeah.
it's not an allergic reaction 9 times out of 10, but it's what's trapped under the
Yeah.
second skin.
So
Yeah.
no green soap.
Green
under it.
soap, ointment.
Yeah.
Actually,
Grime.
there was AP. Do y'all know AP? AP. He works at. I don't know where he's working at now, but He used the jojoba oil
On tattoos?
underneath the second skin.
So he goes to apply the sanding, but he puts jojoba oil on it, or
Yeah,
what-
underneath the
The
second
stick?
skin. Yeah. So like he cleaned it really good rubbing alcohol, and he put like 2 little drops on it and rubbed it in, and then put the second skin on it. It's actually
Interesting.
really nice. He did that on my calf piece.
Interesting. I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
We keep getting off on these. I have to pee so bad. I'm trying to wrap this up. You know what? Okay, let's.
Let go.
Yeah, I know. You have to. You gotta go, and
Yeah.
I gotta go. Okay, let's wrap it up here, and we can actually do like a continuation next week if y'all are down.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right.
Maybe for this doesn't have to be part of this, but
Enchilada.
we can do like enchilada
Yeah.
part, but maybe each of us do like our own little research, whether it be like
A
the
talking
little
point.
Reddit stories,
Yeah.
or like
Yeah. That,
I don't know, just stuff that we can like do
To-
our homework during the
to make
week.
it informative and like actually not just like talking out our ass and
Yeah.
speculation. Yeah, I agree. Okay, cool. Well, anyways,
Hell
for
yeah.
those of you that made it this far, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.